Good day, class. How are you feeling today? Great. Are you excited to learn something new in science today? Awesome. But before we are going to proceed with our lesson, let me remind you first the classroom expectations. All together, read. Good. Great job. Our objectives for this session are the following. For our first activity, you are going to unscramble the letters of a term based on the given statement. I will read first the statement, and after that, you can raise your hand if you want to answer. Number one, it is a fracture in the Earth's crust through which movement has occurred. Stephen, would you like to answer? Fault. Very good. Number two, it is a sudden and violent shaking of the ground caused by the movement of the tectonic plates beneath the Earth, and it can occur on land or under the ocean. Tyler? Yes, the answer is earthquake. Great job. So how does an earthquake occur? Everybody read? Great job. There are two classifications of faults. It is based on angle and based on the slip. Based on angle or dip, we have here the high angle fault where it has a dip greater than 45 degrees and the low angle fault that has a dip of less than 45 degrees. The second one is based on slip or movement. The first one is the dip slip fault. It is a movement, or the movement is mostly vertical or up and down along the fault plane. The first example of dip slip fault is the normal fault. The hanging wall moves downward, usually caused by tensional or extensional forces. The second example of dip slip fault is the reverse fault. The hanging wall moves upward, usually caused by compressional forces. And the third example of dip slip fault is the thrust fault. A type of reverse fault with less than 30 degrees angle, and this is common in areas of compression. Number two is the strike slip fault. The movement is mostly horizontal along the fault plane. The first example of strike slip fault is a right lateral fault or the dextral fault. The opposite block moves to the right from the observer's perspective. The second example is the left lateral fault or the sinistral fault. If the opposite block moves to the left from the observer's perspective, it is called a sinister fault. Lastly, the oblique slip fault, a combination of dip slip and strike slip movement, meaning there is both vertical and horizontal displacement. Oblique faults can be normal or reverse. Oblique faults also have a strike slip component, and most faults have an oblique component. For our next activity, we are going to create a model or diagram showing the different types of faults. The materials that we are going to need are the following: scissor, the pattern, glue, folder. We have now our model. From the model that we created, we are going to identify the types of fault. So this will be our footwall, and this will be our hanging wall. So what type of fault is this? Great job. It is the normal fault. How about this one? Good job. This is the reverse fault. How about this one? Amazing. This is the thrust fault. At this time, you are going to answer the following questions. To summarize everything, there are two classifications of faults. Number one is based on angle, and number two, it is based on their slip. Based on angle or dip, we have high angle fault, which has a dip greater than 45 degrees, and low angle fault with a dip less than 45 degrees. And based on type of slip or movement, we have a dip slip fault, Examples of it are normal fault, the reverse fault, and the thrust fault. We have also the strike slip fault, the left lateral fault, and the right lateral fault, and the oblique slip fault. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and cooperating, and see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.